I'm Nicole Moss, your host of Easton Park TV. I'm here with Andrew Marcus, who is one of the founders of mytennislessons.com.
Yep.
We are going to talk about entrepreneurship. He's never really had a job. He's always owned and run his own companies.
Checks out. Yeah.
Very, very exciting. We talk about living in Easton Park, playing poker in Easton Park, and some stories about crabs. So let's jump on in.
Love it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. 9/11. I remember where. Where were you on 9/11?
I was in middle school. I remember a friend in the hallway told me that the Japanese are attacking the U.S. and I'm like, that's
funny.
That doesn't sound right, but okay. And then remember in gym class, we were outside and there's, F-15 planes flying over because the DC area got hit pretty hard too. And my gym teacher was a Marine veteran and he was crying. And that guy was the toughest guy I knew at the time. And he was just crying, talking to us about what happened. And he didn't really know how to process it as like a 12-year-old kid, but it was wild times in the area. And I remember a lot of friends got like called out of school because their parents work in, the Pentagon or downtown in DC. And so it was, just very sad, wild times.
That was horrible. Horrible. I was in 7th grade. And also in gym, and but I was in a small town in Texas. We were generally safe, but no, you didn't know. Like it was so sketchy.
Absolutely,
that was wild. And then the DC sniper. Yeah, no, eventful times at Herbert Hoover Middle School. That's wild.
Yeah,
well, you made it.
Made it.
Got to college. Started a company.
Got to college. I started teaching tennis when I came back home during the summer. Started advertising online to give tennis lessons myself.
Okay.
Was too lazy to drive to Virginia, DC, all around Maryland. So I wound up hiring other friends and local coaches that I knew.
Okay.
I duct taped together like a WordPress website and Baseball Academy scheduling software.
Okay.
And the batting cages were called tennis courts. Like I was able to finagle the system to work, and I was booking, 6, 12, 20-hour packages with coaches around the area. Hired about 20 coaches, and they got a decent amount of business, and it was great beer money in college for sure.
Yeah. So how old were you? Like what year in college?
This was sophomore year at college, so I was probably a 19, 20-year-old kid.
Dang, that's amazing. So you started with tennis. That's still running.
We work with about 5,000 coaches around the country. Wow. The website's called mytennislessons.com. It's kind of like Expedia for booking a tennis coach. So it's the same concept as the early days in the DC area, just now it's nationwide with a lot more coaches.
That's awesome. And is it all age ranges, all levels?
Yeah, all age ranges, all levels. I was very adamant early on to not just hire, the certified tennis coach who has all these accolades and charges $100 an hour. Like I wanted to build a marketplace where your 7-year-old daughter doesn't need that kind of coach. The number 3 tennis player at UT is perfectly capable of teaching the basic forehand to your daughter. So that's kind of the mindset we took. And so we opened up the platform to have all types of college players and real estate agents who used to play tennis but have free time from 7 to 9 p.m. or weekend availability, and they want to open up their schedules on our website for bookings. That's kind of what we do. So we allow a lot of coaches to kind of do this on the side. Some of them do it full time, but it's a lot of just getting new students, which is kind of the number one pain point of theirs, which is, how do I pay my rent this month? Or how do I make more money on the side? And so we're just another avenue to help them out there.
That's really cool. So it's kind of like, is it a 2-sided website where like you have the coaches that can go on and be like, I'm available these days at these times. And then on the other side, you have your customers, I guess, or people that want to get coached.
Right. Exactly. So it's a chicken and an egg issue. So you need to have enough coaches in each area. You need to have enough student demand. So for the coaches, they can come to the website, sign up, fill out their profile, upload photos, give us their availability, their teaching locations, whether it's high school tennis courts or any courts in their neighborhood, or maybe they'll click that I can travel to you if you have something more accommodating to where you live. And then on the student side, it's been a lot of Google optimization on our ends to
Mhm.
show up when you type in tennis lessons in Austin, Texas, or tennis lessons Boston, Massachusetts. We
Sure.
try and show up as one of the top 3 results so that people find us, they come to the website, compare the different coaches, use the filters. I want a female at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays, and
Awesome.
then they can select their coach, book a lesson package, and get started.
And then they pay through the website.
They do. They put a card down on the website, and they don't get charged until actually talking to the coach and figuring
Yeah.
out their schedules and starting their lessons.
Very cool. And then it's kind of on the coaches. It's like entrepreneurial on their end, where the coaches are like, it's like, you get these, we're sending you these clients, like it's up to them to keep them or make, whatever, like have the rebookings or what have you.
Exactly. Yeah. We try and help out where we can and
Yeah.
check in, see how the lessons are going. We give the students the ability to leave reviews on the coach's profile, which
Awesome.
helps pump their rankings on our website. And
Awesome.
yeah, for the coaches and for rebookings, we put it in their court, but we're here to assist too. We send a text message after lesson 11 of 12, like, hey, are you ready to rebook another package? And
Awesome.
sometimes they do. Sometimes 12 lessons was more than enough.
Yeah. No, that's great. And so are they, when you're you're paying your coaches, are they 1099? Are they W-2?
Yeah, they're all 1099s.
Okay.
They set up their own profiles and their own hourly rates on
Okay.
our website. So if somebody wants to charge $50 an hour, we might charge 63 an hour to the student. So a little bit of an upcharge to cover our marketing
course.
fees and everything. But we tell the coach, set your happiness rate, whatever rate makes you happy for an hour of your time.
Very cool. And you've been successful for how many years?
Yes, I'm successful. It's still
You've
alive.
been in business
It's still
for how many
alive.
years?
Yeah, no, it's going. Me and I started the company with 4 other guys.
Okay.
Three of us still work full time on it. And then
Awesome.
we have a outsourced team in Philippines and
Yeah.
team in Bangladesh. And it's still going, still paying the bills, and it's been a lot of fun.
Nice. Not to age you, but you started in sophomore year of college. So what we're
No, I'm
looking at
old. I got
15, 16.
yeah, I got old
17?
somehow.
It happens fast.
I did. It really did. Yeah, no, it's been 13 years in Austin and about 15 years running the business overall.
Very cool. That's awesome. And it's not just tennis anymore. Now you're doing
Right. So we launched fitnesstrainer.com in 2015, which is the same concept between personal trainers and students or
cool.
clients around the country.
Yeah.
So similar concept and just same marketplace, same technology,
Love it.
just a little bit of more or less copy paste to spring up a new website
Sure.
and get it going.
Yeah. And then you said pickleball also.
Pickleball, not by choice. I think that's a necessity thing at this point, just based on the demand for pickleball. So we
People
launched my
love it.
pickleball lesson. Oh my God. It's
Do
one thing
you-
about it. My mom has been playing every day since 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if she's gonna watch this or not, but she's been
I
telling
bet
me
your
that
mom will watch this.
she's been telling me every day to launch a pickleball website. So that was partially for her, but partially because the demand is just going crazy, and they're taking over all the tennis courts, which is a little sad as a tennis player, but also understandable. It's more accessible. It's easy. You don't need like all these lessons. And like tennis, you're gonna suck. You're gonna hit balls over the fence if you don't really take lessons and try
Okay.
and learn. Pickleball, you go on the court, and a lot of people are like, I could be the best player in the world right now if I
Do
play
you
this
think
enough.
do you think that's why it's so popular?
I think it's popular because you don't have to move that much. It is fun. I will say it is fun.
Okay.
I've played a bunch. My wife's brother, Miguel, is ranked top 60 in the world. He's like traveling around the country playing pickleball tournaments. So
Okay.
I talk shit on it, but he's actually really good. And I see what he puts into it in terms of like working out and practicing 4
Yeah.
hours a day and all these things.
Top
So
60 in the world. That's
yeah,
like
yeah. Well, there's probably only 1,000 players in the play, but yeah, no, he's done a
That's
great
still-
job.
okay,
It's awesome.
60 out of 1,000 is still pretty
Yeah,
excellent.
it's really good. No, it's super impressive.
you're like there's only like 1,000 that are
yeah,
ranked. But
yeah.
dude, that's 60? That's amazing. I think
Yeah.
with anything, pickleball seems silly to me. Like we went to but I don't know, I haven't played it. No, I've never played it.
Well, there's a court in the neighborhood.
Yeah, maybe we should go play.
Yeah.
It does seem easier than tennis. But we went to Bolden Acres
Mhm. Great bar.
for it's a great bar
Yeah.
that also happens to have pickleball.
Yeah.
And I remember like watching people play pickleball and I was like, oh, this is a sport I could do. There was all kinds of people playing pickleball and they all look to be having a lot of fun, but I haven't. But is it how does it compare to tennis?
How does it compare? I
I feel
don't
like
think
it
it really
doesn't.
compares. The hand-eye coordination, yeah, that's a thing.
Okay.
A little bit of touch, like when you need to finesse it over the net. There's instances in tennis where that's,
Could it
pretty common.
also could you compare pickleball to tennis like ping pong to
Yeah,
tennis?
I'd say pickleball is more like ping pong than it is in tennis, and I could get roasted for saying that, but I think tennis is just a completely different sport. A lot more running side to side, a lot more spin with the different shots that you're
Yeah.
hitting, a little bit more strategy. But to give pickleball some credit, the singles pickleball, I've played it and I mean, I know I'm already out of shape, but I was really out of shape after
Okay.
playing it. It is a good workout. Doubles too. Doubles is a good time. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend trying it.
Okay.
But yes, we did launch the pickleball website. That's going pretty well. We need more coaches around the country. I think that's our number one objective is like, how do we tell people we exist? Where do we hire coaches? Is it Indeed.com? Is it,
Sure.
Craigslist, like where are we going to get more pickleball coaches? Maybe I have to travel with Miguel around to his
There
tournaments
you
and
go.
recruit different coaches. But
Miguel.
that's one of those things where we're getting a lot of people to the website who are looking for lessons, and then there's no one in their area. So that's on the to-do list for us right now.
Okay, very cool. Is it so when you're choosing coaches? I mean, is there a criteria? Like, because I mean, I guess I could say I could coach pickleball. I've never played pickleball, but like,
Right.
what stops me from being like, I could be a pickleball coach?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not lying and you say, I'm a 4.5 level pickleball player, or tennis is probably a better example of like I've been playing for 15 years and I've
Okay,
been teaching for 3 years. Like that's more than enough criteria to teach beginners tennis. Like
sure.
if you've been playing for a while and teaching for a little while, like you're going to be okay on our website in the context of who we are attracting, which is primarily beginner tennis players and
Okay,
pickleball players. You know, can't be on a sex offender registry. You have
good.
to pass a background check, like things that are
Just
mandatory, sure. But in
yeah,
terms of we're not flying out there checking to see if you know how to hold
what
the
your form
racket.
is.
We leave it up to the students to say, hey, this guy was amazing, or hey, we did have a guy one time, I remember this email where he's like, my 12-year-old son played a match against like the coach and he beat him. Like, can we get another coach? I'm like, yeah, that's not good if your 12-year-old is beating the coach. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think over time it filters out the good and the bad,
sure.
but we do as much due diligence up front
Yeah,
that we can. But we're not meeting every single person. We
yeah.
try to
Well,
talk
you
to them.
can't. You said
Yeah,
5,000. How many coaches?
yeah, it's about
Thousands.
5,000.
Yeah, you can't. You don't know
Right,
them all by first name. Like you're not
right,
having dinner with them and stuff. But
right.
no, that's great. And I would imagine it would self filter, right? Like they just won't get booked again. It's really simple.
Exactly, exactly. Or we'll take them down. We'll take their profiles down if, they were late for their lesson for the third time in a row, or they, never,
Yeah.
no showed, or
Oh
whatever
yeah.
happens. Like,
Yeah, no,
there's policies.
that's a lot of people to manage. And as you know, we own a human resource
Yep.
company. It's amazing to me the constant you can't be late for work, you didn't show up, like, and I would imagine on a 1099 where you don't they really have no, it's not like they're wearing my tennis lessons t-shirts and
Correct.
they're like, not saying that you don't have a culture. I'm sure there's a culture within your corporate company, but the lessons are like the widget, right? Like
Right.
it would be almost impossible to get buy-in at a level where they're like, oh my gosh, I can't be late, or
Correct. As 1099s, we can't tell them, hey, you need to be here at
right.
2 p.m. every single day. Like, no, it's more of you guys figure out your schedules, you guys meet up. But if you're no showing on the student, then your profile is coming down. Like
Yeah.
we have that autonomy to
Oh,
figure
and
with
as you should.
policies,
You
right?
just made my heart sing when you were like, because that's one of the biggest questions that we get is like, what's the difference between 1099 and W-2? And you're like, I can't tell you when to show up. Like, just amazing. Because that's
Yeah.
very rare. Very cool. So have you ever had like a job, like just a job? It sounds like you've been entrepreneuring
I
forever.
did work at the tennis club stringing tennis rackets and
Okay.
folding towels. So
Okay.
if you ask my brother, he'll tell you I've never had a job in my life. But
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that does seem like this very Maryland type life. Very cool.
Yeah.
Maryland's excellent. I love it.
It's beautiful, but I like playing golf in December, so I'm very content over
Yeah.
out here.
Steve grew up in Maryland and he's like, we'll go back to visit. And really, there's no need now. He's like, I would never. Yeah, sorry, his parents passed. And his mom was down here, no, I mean, Maryland's beautiful.
It's very pretty. Yeah.
Very pretty. Like so much history. I think it's so different. Like when you go up like northeast, just the history and the buildings are older and like, I don't know, the seasons are there. It's beautiful.
It's nice for about 3 days.
Okay.
And then I'm like,
Ready
a
to
foot
come
of
back?
snow, I'm good. And
Are your folks still up there?
Yeah, they do the whole snowbird thing where
Okay.
they're 5 or 6 months in Florida, 5 or 6 months in Delaware. They moved close to, they're in Fenwick Island, which is 20 minutes from the beach over there.
Okay.
So it's kind of a schlep to fly into BWI and drive 2.5 hours to go see them. But my brother lives in Silver Spring, Maryland, which is right outside the DC area.
Okay.
So I get to see him when I can.
Very cool. Yeah, whole BWI.
BWI.
That whole area is. I went to see Steve in DC when we were dating. He was living in where were you? You were in not Columbia, Cambridge. He was living in Cambridge, which was beautiful. But that was my first experience. It was the first time I'd ever been to DC. It was the first time I had like been up there, and Baltimore is something else.
It's tough. Yeah.
It's a rough area, and but it was cool. It was so cool. DC's beautiful. Some of DC's beautiful. Some of it's a little rough. I mean, it's just a different. I was born and raised in South Central Texas, and it's just culturally a very different area. And I don't mean like by demographics, just like in general, like socioeconomic difference in any one compacted area is just so different.
Yeah, I found that I guess a lot of the people on the East Coast, I went to UConn as well, and even in Connecticut, is a lot of type A people, like go, go, go. And here's more chill, laid back, which is more of my vibe.
Okay.
Like go at your own pace. It's not like...
You say that. You started a company that's still running when you were, 19 years old, 20 years old?
Yeah, but that was the DC kid in me, I guess.
Okay.
The go make it in this world in America. And now I'm like, all right, we can slow down a little bit and appreciate what we've done and, go at our own pace. And
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like once you get your business off the ground, right? Which is not a simple thing. And then to keep it running is not an easy, like there's all kinds of stress, but like there is something very freeing, I think, about having like, and we're always all of us are always working. Entrepreneurs are never, it's like the mind never turns off. Like the creation never turns off. The strategy's never turning off. The worry never turns off. Like you're feeding people. We were in reviews today and one of the employees was like, you guys, like talking to our clients, but I was there supporting them. Right. And he was like, you guys have to have the most stressful job. Like you bring us the bread, like you feed us all and our families. And like, we feel the same with some of our employees. Like there's been so many times, I don't know, so many times, but enough times to remember. And just depending on the month, depending on the quarter, depending on what's going on, where we've not paid ourselves to pay our people. Yeah. That's just real life of owning a business.
We went through that. We raised a little bit of money. So we moved to Austin in 2011. We went through the Capital Factory, which is a startup incubator in town. We went through that program 2013. It's a lot of speed dating old men when we started to raise actual funding, which was a great time. Really cool mentors that we met through the Capital Factory network and raised decent amount of angel funding. And then come 2015, we were growing a ton, but so was our overhead. So we were burning cash. And so we had to make a choice, either go, raise 5, 10, whatever $1 million or make this a profitable, good lifestyle business. And back then, especially Capital Factory Network, like you're really pushed to go raise more money, grow as fast as you can. We kind of took the other route, but I remember having to ask other employees, hey, I need you to scale back salaries for a few months while we figure this out. Had to let a bunch of people go. It's a tough time. And I think I lost a lot of sleep. I was very skinny. Like those are very real times in a journey. And you come out the other side if you're lucky, and you have a lot more clarity around. I don't want to do that again. How do I manage this business so it's self-sustaining, so we can grow it for 10, 20, 30 years on its own if you're fortunate to be in that position. So for us, a lot of the battle scars were from that experience of like needing to put food on the table and keep the lights on and all those things.
It's very real. It's very, very real. I had the unique opportunity to work for someone who, are you familiar with EO, Entrepreneurs
Yeah.
Organization?
Yeah.
Before a lifetime ago, before we started this, and we're doing Moss Consulting full time, I was in commercial real estate, and I started my career in a company called Live Oak Gottesman,
Mm-hmm.
which is a really well known, very well respected commercial real estate brokerage here in town, and had a couple jobs in between, but very entrepreneurial, very kind of eat what you kill kind
Right.
of a world commercial real estate is. Um, got into managing a law firm for a while and then came back to commercial real estate. I missed it. It was fun. It was
Yeah.
social, and ended up working with someone who also worked at Live Oak prior. And so the same culture, same kind of value. And he, very entrepreneurial. He was the president of EO while I was managing his operations and HR at the time for his brokerage. And it was so stinking cool to like start working and like work around people who were all in on their businesses.
Yeah.
Like, and I learned, and I remember him telling me, he was like, and I just had drinks with him last night with some other friends, and they're all EO guys that are clients of ours that EO is excellent for us. It's an excellent source of business. But they were like, entrepreneurs are so cool because like everyone's cool. It's like everyone's always working, even if it's just like the thought,
Right.
just like the
Can't turn
mind
it off.
you can't.
Yeah.
The worry doesn't stop, the
Right.
excitement doesn't stop, the creativity doesn't stop, but they're also like entrepreneurs are very fun. There's a level of risk that tends to be just generally okay. And when you're hanging out with other people who are at whatever level, right? I love hanging out with people that are thinking about starting businesses and people like you who've been in business for a long time and people who are like, I don't know, I mean, they're spending 68 and $70 million a year, some of our
Yeah.
clients. And we're just like, it is so cool at every point of the journey. But what doesn't seem to change is like what we're talking about. Like you never turn it off.
It's never off.
It's never off.
It's always going.
It's always, and entrepreneurs just tend to be some of the most positive, supportive, real people that I've ever had the opportunity to meet and hang out with. And it seems to like we tend to like gravitate towards other entrepreneurs. It's just you just get it.
Yeah, you get it, and everybody can relate. Like if you have something to complain about or to brag about, like a lot of times you're like, oh yeah, I remember that last year or it's been a roller coaster like it is for everyone. But I think the problems that come up every day, like they're so small now. It used to be the end of the world, but now it's like, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like it's just you try and keep an even keel because it's such high highs and such low lows at times that you need to just chill, smoke weed or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you got to do. For me, it's the gin, but like there is a level of like at what point, and this seems to be a trend with most entrepreneurs is there is, we like to party, or relax or de-stress or whatever. But like there is entrepreneurs can hang, like it's very cool. And I think that, just know, like you were just talking about like that dark period or whatever, like the periods of growth, like I always think back, like we're all always in stress all the time, right? But like understanding that like the wins, no matter how small, are still wins.
Yeah.
And it's like you gotta celebrate those, but especially for your team. Like when you have people working under you and now suddenly like all the time I'm like, what? Y'all are looking at me for the answer? Like it's bizarre, I'm like, I don't know. But we figure it out. But like what's the metaphor where it's like you got to be a duck underwater where you're constantly pedaling, but like chill, smooth, water rolls off your back on top. And like our team knows it was one of the biggest learning things I've ever gone through. It was last year, Steve, or the year before. 2023 was a tough year. The end of 2023 into 2024, it was just, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a trainer, I'm not good at delegating. Like I own the process. I trust my output. Like, I don't know. And Steve and some very smart people were like, if you are going to you are going to have a heart attack and like it is too stressful. You can't handle all of this. You're trading time for money,
right?
Which you can only scale so much, right? There's only so much time.
Right.
And, it took a lot of much smarter than me people and a great team and a very loving partner and husband to be like, you have got to pass this stuff off.
Yeah.
And we had a very stressful situation come up a couple weeks ago or something. And Steve was like, hey, that was bad. But like, that's the first time you've been that psychotically stressed in like over a year.
It's
Like
a win.
that's a win, you know?
Yeah.
Which is cool. And I think that like you talk to people and you're like, yeah, I get that. Like, and it's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. And I think entrepreneurs realize how hard it is because they're living through it, or they have lived through it, or they're on startup number 4 and
Yeah.
like the first 3 failed because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And now it's like, but what did you learn from it? And a lot of times it is about delegating that workload. What should I really be doing? Support tickets for pissed off parents who, you know, the kids don't like their tennis coach or whatever, or they want a refund, or the coach never called. Like, at some point, there's people who can do this work that are very capable, 15, 20 an hour, whatever it is. And it's like, at what point is the time money equation a real thing? So it's important to each month, each quarter, to take a step back and think like, where should I put my time? What's the most valuable thing I can do with my time that has the highest impact on our growth trajectory?
Yeah. And it's humbling, right? Like it's so hard, at least for me, and it's a control thing to give up.
Oh,
like,
it's super hard.
You know, and then you got to be. We've been very lucky with our team. We're a team of 5, and we're managing between like, I don't know, like 1,200 employees plus with 5 people, which is a feat. It's not, and we run a ticketing system and the whole 9. But you know, we have Alyssa, who's our first W-2 employee. Like, this chick is excellent. Like, and it is so fun to watch her grow. And she is so much better at the ticketing than I am, just because I'm like, I don't have time for this. I don't have the time or the patience, you know, and she just has the patience. And like, she would probably argue that she doesn't have the time because like she's busy, because we were like, Alyssa can do it, you know, which is, we got to be very careful of. But she presented us today a growth plan for the next like 7 to 10 years. And Steve and I were just like, this is a dream come true. She's amazing.
Alyssa, take over the company. You run it. You run it.
Honestly, like that's our plan. She's so good at it. Like, and you know, it's so inspiring to watch her, like her growth and her drive and like her confidence building it's so fun. And I think that that's the other rewarding part of this is like you get people on your team and you're just like, this is amazing.
It's great. It's like a family ordeal.
It is. And I know that like you're not supposed to say that like our team's like a family anymore. I don't know if you've like,
or like your startup's your baby. Like, there's a lot of things you're not supposed to say, but like when you're in it, like I was literally living in a house with the 4 guys I was building the company with for 4 years in Austin together. Like, you could have written a movie about it. It was one of those houses where, you know, we go out on 6th Street as 22-year-olds from Thursday to Sunday, but like we were working 12 hours a day, and like that was the life back then. Now it's a little different, but they were like my brothers. It was our baby. Like all the metaphors. It's a real thing. So
it is.
You try and separate it as much as you can, but it's tough when you care so much, just like family. Like you care about the success of this thing growing up, living, whatever you call it.
Totally. And the people that are working on it with you, you're like, you care so much about them.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
they do become your family. And I think that that's like, we work with small growing teams. And so it's like, it's a little different. I think in that corporate culture of like, you know, if Indeed's like, oh, our team's like a family, you're like, no, it's not. You're cranking money. But for all of us that are like bootstrapped, doing the thing, like the people that are giving you their time, I mean, in exchange for money, of course, as they should, you get to know them and their families. And like, Alyssa just bought a house. She just got engaged. And it's like, to us, she totally did it on her own. Of course, she put herself in the best position to do that. But for us, it's like, for us to provide the platform of stability for that felt like I don't know. I just feel like a proud mama a little bit.
As you
know?
should.
Yeah.
As you should. No, it's a great feeling, and I remember 2 people who no longer work with us, who live in Austin, who met working at our company, and now they're married.
No way.
They have a kid, and it's like, I did that. I hired both of them. No, but not really.
Like,
but
you're
like,
welcome.
no. So it's fun to see just people grow in their journey, and how you maybe played a small part in that. And no, it's very rewarding.
Rewarding is exactly the right word. So you said 4 of you started the company, 3 of you are still in the company.
Yeah, it was 4 of us moved out to Austin together from the East Coast.
Okay.
We all went to UConn together, moved out to Texas 2011. My friend from high school was backpacking across the country doing the whole Occupy Wall Street movement.
Okay.
And I met up with him downtown. I said, Michael, you could use a shower. You could really use a shower. So he came over and stayed on the futon for a few years, and he taught himself to code. And he's a badass developer now.
Okay.
But so was five of us in a house together. We adopted a dog too, and
Of course.
it was a good time. It was really really
Did y'all all
fond
play
memories.
tennis?
Me and Jesse did.
Okay.
One of my co-founders. He walked onto the tennis team. I was on the tennis team.
Okay.
And then senior year, I remember having a conversation with him of like, what are you gonna do after you graduate? I'm like, I think I'm just gonna keep doing this tennis thing I've been doing. And he's like, I want in. And so we brought on two other buddies and decided, let's try and make this like a national type of website, national service. And
You did.
this is like pre-Uber and all the like you can find anything anywhere, Yelp or Thumbtack or all these sites didn't really exist back then. So it was kind of a novel idea in 2009, but now it's more normal to be able to have your food delivered to your house or connect with any kind of service provider in your area.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. Like you disrupted the market and created a solution that people didn't know they needed.
Yeah, for me it was like, I'm teaching tennis. I think other coaches have a basket of balls in their car and would like to teach tennis on the side. Why should a 7-year-old daughter of somebody need to go to a $80 an hour country club, pay membership fees? Like, there has to be a better way. And so that's kind of how it started. I was solving a problem for myself, realized other coaches had the same problem. Marketing's not super easy to do online, like especially back then. So to say, hey, I'm going to do all your marketing, get you new students, you set your hourly rate, like it was a pretty easy value proposition to bring on a lot of coaches around the country.
Yeah, and not a lot of competition, I'm sure, at that point.
At that point, yeah. Now there's Yelp and Thumbtack and a couple other websites that are similar to ours. But yeah, back then it was a lot of fun.
The internet was different back then. Like I'm trying to put myself back in that time. Like that was when MySpace was the coolest thing on the planet. Like
yeah, Facebook was getting going quite a bit in college.
The internet was just so different back then. But I think that like the my tennis lessons thing and my pickleball and what is it, my fitness?
Yeah, fitnesstrainer.com.
What an really cool way to like just that's been your whole career.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, it's been a learning experience, but it's also been just a fun journey. And
yeah, you get to work with your buddies.
I worked with my buddies. And
how big is your like corporate team?
Corporate team, so it's really right now stateside. It's 3 of us.
Okay,
and then we have
like the 3 founders.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, me, Jesse, and John, and then we have 4-person team in Bangladesh and about 3 in the Philippines.
Very cool.
Pretty laid back and lean. Yeah, and
love it.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it. It's overhead can get out of control so fast.
It can, and with all the tools now and the Upwork websites where you can go find somebody for $8 an hour to help write blog posts or to do some bookkeeping or there's a lot of resources where you can really control those expenses if you're open to it. A lot of people like want U.S. employees, and that's that, and there's a time and purpose for that, but some menial tasks like we talked about delegating, like I'm very okay with giving it to somebody where the average wage is $2 or $3 an hour and you're paying them 12. They really appreciate it, and they're going above and beyond and working U.S. hours, and we've had a really good experience with it so far. Yeah,
no, that's excellent. I've worked just a few times with people, like, and a lot of our clients will use Upwork, and for the same reason, they're like, the living wage is $2 or $3 or maybe $4 an hour, and you're paying $12, $15 an hour, and they are so happy to work nights there, and
if you pay someone $12 an hour here, they're thinking about, what's my next job?
Right.
Should I go work at McDonald's or wherever, right? Exactly. That pays a little bit more, 18 an hour or somewhere. So it's tough to, because if you're going to train somebody on a certain process, whether it's like customer support tickets and all the scenarios and everything, how you should respond and everything, if you're going to have to do that, you want somebody that's going to be there long term.
Right.
And if you're not going to pay 60, 70, 80 grand, right, for a decent worker here in the States, I think it's very, very tough. And that's why outsourcing can be beneficial.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I mean, we're an outsourced HR department, and obviously we're not $12 an hour, but like it is a lot of the times you don't really need a full-time department or person. And there's a lot of very smart economical ways to do that and to keep your costs low, which I think is smart. And I think that as our generation, the late 30s, moving into, even if you're managing a company, like maybe it's not your company, but you're moving up in management, you're moving up in your career. Because I think what you said earlier is like, we have the IRL experience of like how to connect in
Sure.
person, and the technology that we grew up and we've kind of grown with the internet, like especially our age where we were old enough to understand it as it was coming
Yeah.
to be like a normal thing in a household, where it was like you get on the internet after whatever time,
Download LimeWire
got
music.
LimeWire, Kazaa, remember?
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
just rip all of that off. Napster taught us so
Yeah,
much.
40 minutes to download a song.
Yeah, you better be good. And then remember when you would download one and then it would be like corrupted? And you're like, damn it, like super loud. But yeah, no, I think it's a really cool. We just have this unique thing. So as we're growing, like being open to things like Upwork, and I am all about AI. Like, it is so efficient. It's so smart. Like in a scary way almost. Like,
it's very scary. I just uploaded a legal document today. I'm like, can you just break down the pros and cons of this? And then it did. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is what I need to ask now.
Yeah, you just saved me 8 hours of reading and research and like,
or a $300 call with a lawyer to review it with him.
Where it broke down the questions that you need to ask. So now it's and whatever your lawyer is, your cost is, but it's less because you've weeded through it and you didn't have to. I think, used well and used strategically, everyone should be in some way leaning into it, because if you're not, like, just like we watched the internet leave a lot of people behind, like you have to lean in.
Yes.
There's ways to do that, and I'm sure for every industry it's different. But
yeah, I think where it gets really interesting in the near future is if it keeps getting better and better, you start to look at, say you have 100 people on your team, maybe it is doing the job of 20 of these people. So do you how do you move them to a new role, or do you have to let them go? I think that part's a little scary.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that's going to be a very real problem faster than we're anticipating.
Yeah.
And we're constantly thinking about our competitors, which there's competitors like in the market. There's other fractional HR. There's a lot of fractional HR people.
Sure.
I think that it's a personality fit. We work with very cool, very creative entrepreneurs. Some people want a more corporate feel. They won't work with us because we do not feel corporate at all. And I think that's preference, and that's good. You need that in the market. Yeah. Where we're really focused on our strategy and what we're trying to accomplish is there's like Paylocity, Gusto, Bamboo HR, all of these behemoth freaking companies that they are going to build HR AI into their systems, and it's like, we can't compete. They're gonna eat us, right? So that's where we're really leaning into people, and kind of leaning away from the AI and into the people. And there will always, I think, at least in our lifetime or the lifetime of our business, that people will want a person to discuss sexual harassment or termination.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to a robot about that.
Not now, not us, not our generation,
Gen
because
Z, Gen whatever. Yeah, totally.
Like it's a completely different thing. Like we have a client that it's a very young workforce, and I'm saying young, like they're all in their they're like 27 or younger, other than leadership, and they're like, this, why are we talking? Like they want to they're not even email, it's like Slack, right? Or Teams or whatever, and it's like it's all quick, there's no grammar, like, and I feel old saying that, but I think in our lifetime I don't think it's going to hit us as hard as like, you don't want to be fired by a bot, right? But I think there will be a time where you're getting termed by a bot, or you're like, hey, don't. And I think honestly, as technology moves forward, sexual harassment will go down because people won't be in the same office. Like, can't diddle someone if you're not with them. It happens all the time.
Oh, man.
But yeah. So before we move on, because I know we're 40 something minutes in. Steve likes to give us a little. He's got to edit these. It takes a long time.
Yeah. No problem.
He's like, stop talking. No, but I want to talk because I think it's really important. The other venture that you did with the hand sanitizer situation, can you just do you mind talking about that for a second?
So one of our early investors, who's also my age, grew up in East Texas. I met him in Austin. Had decent amount of money. Wound up buying a manufacturing facility in the Dallas area. Started a company called Tropical Oasis, which is a liquid vitamin brand. They do about 8-figure revenue online, and I run the e-commerce website for him. They do really well on Amazon. It's a great Amazon brand. So if anyone needs liquid vitamins, Tropical Oasis, great liquid vitamins. but he manufactures all those vitamins at his manufacturing facility. And they also do co-packing manufacturing for 5 Hour Energy Shot type of clients, Gatorade beverage type of clients,
Okay.
non-alcoholic spirits they run there, kava, matcha, all different liquids and powders at the facility. So I'm living in Dallas in 2020. I'm close with him, helping out with the website stuff. And I asked him, I'm like, hey, COVID hit, like, can we run sanitizer here? And he's like, yeah, I mean, we've got 16 head fillers, multiple lines, like why not? So, fast forward through COVID, we ran many, many millions of bottles of sanitizer during the pandemic
Awesome.
because, FDA regulations were a little more lenient on,
Sure.
running sanitizer to help with the shortage.
Yep.
And that was a very interesting learning experience on how to run a manufacturing facility, dealing with labor, dealing with lead times of bottles out of China that are taking 14 weeks instead of the traditional 5 weeks that
Wow.
they need to get there. Those pump caps that you see
Yeah.
on like the gallon jugs of sanitizer, and just, it was a really cool learning experience because I come from doing this one website text thing for
Yeah.
so long that
Yeah.
now I'm like, our bottles showing up? Do we have the carbomer ingredient that we need for this production run next Tuesday? Like, helping with all the
That's
logistics
crazy.
and the operations. It was a wild ride. That lasted about a year and a half, and then now it's back to kind of business as usual. But
Sure.
I'm still helping him out and growing that facility, and go to
Cool.
Dallas once or twice a month to meet with clients and help over there. So yeah, completely different from tech world, just like very old school manufacturing
Yeah.
problems of like, shoot, we only had 30 people show up today when we need 40 for both production lines, and all types of,
That's wild.
the compounding team put 4 kilos in instead of 40 kilos of the strawberry flavor. Like, what are we gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
kind of that kind,
Drama.
all that bullshit drama that I,
Yeah.
I try and help out with as much as I can remotely from Easton Park. But
Yeah. Cool.
it's been a lot of fun.
I love that. So speaking of Easton Park, we live in Easton Park.
Yep.
We're on Easton Park Talk at the
Okay.
moment.
EP talk.
EP Talk. We met you through poker.
Yes.
When did you start going to the poker club?
As soon as I joined one of those Facebook groups and I
Yeah.
saw that Easton Park Poker was part of it, so probably 2 years ago,
Okay.
moved to Easton Park about 2.5 years ago.
Cool.
So yeah, that's been favorite thing to do twice a month for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. We love Easton Park Poker. Steve started it, and now other people are running it, and it's been a really it was a labor of love in the beginning, and we started before COVID, and then COVID happened, and we probably all used your hand sanitizer, I'm sure, at one point
Yeah,
during that time, because it was like COVID or COVID. Poker is such a communal,
it is. You're touching a lot of
all
things,
the same
yeah.
things, and people are coughing, and I don't know. It always feels funny sitting next to someone who isn't feeling well at the poker table. You're like, we're all sick.
Yeah.
But it's such a great game. Like, we love the poker club. Great people. We met a lot of our good friends
Yeah.
there. I think I introduced you to everyone as Tommy for. I think to me it felt like a really long time. How long do you think I called you Tommy for?
Maybe 1 or 2 poker sessions.
No way.
I mean, I don't think it was that long, but I just did. Yeah, I should have corrected you. I'm Andrew.
Yeah,
Nice to meet
definitely
you.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I've done it to multiple people. I just feel like with you it was longer. I don't know why, but
Oh, it's my fault.
yeah, definitely not. I had made a mnemonic in my head when I met you, because I was like, you were new. We were trying to be very welcoming, because some people complain that we weren't so welcoming, which is not true.
Not true
Everyone's
at all.
welcome at the Easton Park Poker Club. Please come play with us.
Yeah, come lose your money there.
Yeah, yeah. On that note, okay, so Steve and I are always strategizing, and we went to that bomb pot tournament I was telling you.
Right.
Bullets, who J Ball was on here a couple. I don't know, he just released, but we love Bullets, excellent. But I'm trying to learn how to play bomb pots, and I'm realizing that I need to learn how to play actual poker, Texas Hold'em, better.
Yeah,
so I'm
in Omaha for the bomb pots.
yeah,
right?
exactly. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother to me it feels like, do you play Sudoku, or have you ever played Sudoku?
Yeah, sure.
The bomb pots to me feel like learning Sudoku, where you're you have to think about so many things at the same time.
Yeah. It
And-
goes a little slower. Like, people are studying their hand. There's 2 boards there. You're trying to figure out, okay, I have to use 2 cards in my hand for
The
this
2
board. Which 2
cards.
should I use for that board? It's a lot.
It's tricky.
But if you played Omaha a bunch, you
Yeah,
you
it's like
handle.
anything else. You play, you learn, whatever.
Yeah.
You're very good. You're good at poker, in my opinion.
Thank
you. Because and Steve and I talk about this a lot of who do you want to be in hands with? Who do you want to at the poker table? I'm not going to tell you who I want to be in hands with, because I don't want to. do that. But I want to hear who you want to be in hands with.
Uh,
Me, I'm sure.
no, not you.
No,
I
you want to
don't,
take. You know, you're gonna take my money.
but I don't enjoy it. I mean, no, I'm kidding. You're pretty good. I
Ah,
love how like the past 4 or 5 times we played, you keep saying like, "Oh, I'm reading this book, Poker for Dummies" or something. And I'm like, "You finished that book. You're on the like book 6 by
I
now."
haven't
And
finished that book, but I am gonna put some effort into studying. But like when I think,
no, you're
okay,
good though. You're much better than like a beginner. Like, no,
really,
you're solid.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. It's the gin that really messes with my game. I'm good for like the first probably quarter of the game, maybe third of the game. And I say good. What I'm starting like what Steve and I talk about is like learning is like you're not only playing the cards, but you're really playing the people.
Yeah.
And I think you're really good at like the people. At least when I'm trying to
Maybe,
watch.
yes. Sometimes I think it's what 10 to 15 regulars in that game,
Yeah.
so I've learned everybody's game to some extent. A lot of it is just math. Like, okay, I've got 6 outs. There's a turn in the river left. I have a 26% chance. Like that's how my brain works. Is
Mhm.
more about numbers. But when I'm like, I think I can bluff Jason off this hand right now. If
Yeah.
I do something crazy, I know he's such a tight player that he's gonna fold if I raise and he doesn't have like the absolute nuts, like the
Yeah.
best hand, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like coach. I'm like, if I beat him here, he's gonna be pretty pissed, and he's a big dude. Like I hate taking coach's money because he's going to murder me.
Yeah,
Not
fuck.
actually, he's so nice, but like
No, he's
I'm
so
like
cool.
so
Yeah, I like I don't know. It's been so like I don't know. I love playing with the people that we play with. They're really good people and
great people.
it's such a hard game. And we're spoiled. Like going into Bullets where we played that bomb pot where you don't know
Mhm.
people, but they all know each other because they're always there. It's like
Right.
it is a totally different game.
Yeah.
Like it is we all know each other and
Right.
you all know, oh, Nicole's on her fourth gin and tonic, like get in a hand with her, whatever or whoever. But like
No, it's a great game. I mean,
yeah, we have
it's
some
probably my favorite Easton Park activity.
Yeah.
I mean, not that there's a ton of activities besides pool, gym, pickleball court, singular, only one court when they have like 10 acres of land to build 20 courts, but they built one court for 10,000 people. That's a different conversation.
well, it's like the size of the pool too, like
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah. There needs to be 2 or 3 pools at some point
And
soon.
at
and-
least one other pickleball court.
Yeah. And I emailed Brookfield Homes. I don't know if they watch this, but I emailed them early on just like, hey, if I give you X amount of money to build a tennis court where you can fit 2 pickleball courts on, would you do it? And they never
No
got back to me. No
response?
response. The
You
town hall
should,
meeting, a couple different places. So
Have you reached out to Paul?
I haven't. I'll take a connection because
I'll
I'm
intro you guys because he might be a really good conduit. He's been here forever. He's with the HOA, but he's a
Awesome.
good connection to them, and he's all about like what do people want? Like let's do survey. He's great. But let's go back to poker for a second.
Sure, poker.
We have some legends
Okay.
in our, as you know. I would think that Mr. Moss is a legend. He started it. Gotta support that. But Adam is like a poker legend, in my opinion, in Easton Park. Like how do you win against Adam?
Adam's a really good player. I feel like he knows how to play a lot of people at the table well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think he builds up his chip stack and then he becomes what's called a bully, where
Okay.
he over raises in certain positions, knowing that I'm not going to commit $140 or whatever the bet size is. That's
Yeah.
a complete over bet, but he knows I'm not going all in. So I think you just kind of have to have balls against him in the
Okay.
sense of like, I don't believe you, or if my hand is really strong, I am going to overbet or like kind of play his style.
Yeah.
To me, that's how I did it, and I won a big bomb pot on him the other night, and
Okay.
it's a couple $100. He was pissed.
Yeah, he's he likes to win. He's a good loser. He's a good winner too. He's a
Yeah.
polite guy. We've known Adam a long time, and just over like the last probably like 18 months, I feel like I've really gotten to know Adam a little better, and it's because we started playing Mario Kart together. I don't know if you're a big Mario Kart fan.
During the holidays when
No way.
my wife's brothers come to town and they bring the Switch, and yeah, we play some Mario Kart.
Do you have a Switch?
I don't.
You're gonna
no.
need to buy one.
Okay.
And we'll add you to the group. Steven Smith, Adam, myself,
Yeah.
Kenny gets in on it.
Cool.
There's a couple others that will come in, but we fuck with some Mario Kart. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun. And that's when Adam, like, we're on this text and everyone talks a lot of shit to each other. And that's when, like, I was like, dang, Adam, like, Adam's a really good guy. His family's they're
Yeah.
such great people. But it's been really fun to get to know Adam. I've not beat Adam in a lot of hands of poker, but he's very skilled. He's
Yeah.
very methodical. Like he's a
Very
good
good
guy.
player.
I
Yeah.
try not to be in hands with Adam.
Yeah. Everyone's pretty good. Like, there's nobody bad at that game. Steven's great. Jason's solid. Jeff's pretty good. Like, they're all solid poker players.
Yeah.
I think different positions, you can extract different value
Okay.
out of each of the hands and the players.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
I mean, just kind of knowing their tendencies over the past 2 years, I think there's certain positions where you can bluff at things. There's certain positions where I'm going to play 9-10 suited out of position and mess with Jason because he only plays ace queen or better in this position. And flop comes 10-9 queen and I know I'm about to take all his money and slow play it or, something like that. And then he's going to flip the table afterwards.
Come
like
on, J-Dog.
yell at me for playing 10-9 when like it was the best hand. Like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, no, I mean,
It's
but
fun.
I think more than the poker, it's a good group of guys and it's a lot of fun.
And ladies.
Yeah,
Some
and ladies as
some
well.
Ladies.
Yeah,
I've been trying for years to get more girls to come play. It's hard. It's such a guy's game. And I don't know. I grew up with brothers and boy cousins I was very close to. Like I feel very comfortable. And I think one of the best compliments that I think that's been given to me was you remember Scotty? He moved to Colorado.
Yeah.
He said something, he's like, well, Nicole's here, but she's the cool wife. We can say what we need to say, which I found is a compliment. And you guys can't.
I remember
think
I
that's cool.
came to one poker night and it was couples night. And I was the only one there without a couple, or maybe me and one other guy.
Yeah.
It was
I
a lot of
remember
fun
that.
though. It was a lot of fun.
It was hot that
fun.
night. Remember the AC wasn't working? I think
yes.
I turned it down and Jason was like, "No, what did you do?"
Yeah.
That was an interesting poker night. Like just a by chance. Steven brought his wife. Steve and I were there.
It was great.
It was really fun.
Yeah. No, Steven's wife was learning or like getting a little better.
I
It was
love her.
great.
I love Emily. She's one of my best friends. Like, I would say in the neighborhood, but really she's become one of my best friends in life. And I loved how she was like, "These coins are so pretty," and she was like winning as most beginners do because no
Right.
one knows like what's happening, and they're like, "Pair of nines, this is great," while people are like missing their straights, what flush draws or whatever. But she was just like, "Oh, these pretty coins," and I remember everyone was just like, "Cute, really cute." No, Emily's excellent, and that was a fun night. Another really cool thing about Easton Park is Siniso. Do you have a Siniso order?
I'm a big just like black coffee guy, but I
Okay.
do like a good latte,
Okay, iced or hot?
Depends on the time of year.
Okay.
It's usually hot out, so I usually go iced latte.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
How
a
about
good.
you?
Their vanilla latte, as vanilla as that sounds, is so freaking good.
It is good. Yeah.
Their matcha is real good.
Mm,
I don't know if
okay.
you've tried.
I haven't tried it. No.
I was never a fan of matcha. Like it's
Yeah.
just not. I don't know. It just always seemed like really chalky and not something I wasn't interested in. It's so green.
Yeah.
Um.
Do we know what's happening with the house there on the property? Like, are they actually going to turn it into something? I heard a coffee shop. I heard like a
I heard it was
bar.
gonna be a bar,
Yeah, I
which
don't
would
like-
be awesome.
Yeah.
Quick story: how I met Steve was he planned my first engagement to someone else. He was
At the hotel.
at the hotel.
I
yeah,
heard the story. Great story.
yeah, great story. So really like Steve. So that all ended. Whatever. Wanted to go see Steve. Haven't seen Maryland. Hadn't seen DC. We were caught up on Facebook. Whatever. He's like, "Come on out." Go to DC. And then we come back, have a date day. And then he's like, he went to college in Ocean City? Went to Salisbury. So he's
Close
like,
enough.
yeah.
Which now is a university I would never.
Yeah. I've flown from Austin to Salisbury, like Austin to Charlotte, small plane to Salisbury Airport, which is a little 2-terminal small plane airport. Anyways, sorry, continue. No, not at all.
Oh yeah, because it's like on the beach, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe like really.
It's not at
So
all.
he takes me to my experience with crabs before Steve was I'm gonna tell two stories actually. My experience with crabs before Steve was like
food.
Joe's Crab Shack.
Yeah.
We're in Texas. We're pretty landlocked. Like not a lot of. I mean, there's crab. It's good. Whatever. But so we go to this place is it Ocean City? Oceanside? What was the name of the city that we were in?
Ocean City, is it on the beach?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Ocean
wherever,
City.
like near
there's
Salisbury.
Dewey, Rehoboth, Ocean City.
Yeah,
It's
so we're in
all
Ocean
like
City,
one.
and we go to this place where he and his buddies used to go get crabs, and he's like, and I'm like on another planet. Like this is all so very new to me. We go up, the crabs are like alive in these buckets, and he's like, well, take that bucket. And I was like, oh, cool. And then they come out and they clearly been cooked.
Yep.
And I don't know what to do. Like they just like throw the crab on the picnic
Yep.
table.
You
Like
take a leg, open the stomach like that.
yeah, but I didn't know. So he just starts digging in, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm trying to be cute. We're like dating. And so he's like, he starts, and we get so a bushel of crabs and a pitcher of Yingling.
Yingling. Or they,
like a couple dozen.
yeah.
I don't know what, I don't know.
Yeah. And
So-
some Natty Bow. I think that was like the national.
Yeah, we were on the
okay.
Yingling, and then so I'm like, and he's like, oh, here, let me show you how to do it. And I'm like, cool. So like, he's like, first you do this, and like the whole nine. And I'm like, I'm kind of clumsy, and so I at one point like I mess up with the crab, and I like did something with my hand, and I poured the entire pitcher of Yingling on myself along, and it just like washed all the crab onto me. And Steve and I'm like, oh my god, it's cold, like I stink. Steve's Jeep at the time, the windows wouldn't roll down. So like, so he's like, he looks over at me. He's like, hey, I like you. Like, you don't have to cover yourself
Aw.
in crab and beer. But then he had to ride home with me in the car. And he's like, I really hope we don't get pulled over because I just reeked of crab and beer.
Yeah.
The other fun Maryland story that we have was Steve's best. So this same trip, a lot happened. Like, it was a lot. So he's like, we go to DC, we're coming back, and he's like, hey, let's go to the bar that my buddy and his wife work at. And I'm like, okay, cool, sounds great. So we're sitting at the bar, like tired from DC. It was we did the whole tourist situation, and like his buddy's the bartender and his wife like works at the bar or whatever too. And Brandon, we're like, hey, Brandon, it's his buddy's birthday. And Brandon's like, yeah, it seems like, what are you gonna do for your birthday? He's like, we gotta go to this like memorial service. And I'm like, oh, that sucks, like for your birthday. But I knew the next day we were going to his surprise birthday party. He's like, yeah, tomorrow we got to go to this memorial service. And it didn't hit me. I'm like, that's a bummer. You got to go to a memorial service for your birthday party. And then his wife comes up. He goes to the back. His wife comes up. And she's like, yeah, so Brandon thinks his surprise party tomorrow is a memorial service for someone that did actually die.
Oh, wow.
But he caught her making all this potato salad. And he's like, what are you making all that potato salad for? It was for the birthday party. And she was like, oh, it's for so-and-so's memorial service. And he's like, oh, that's really sad. Like, it's a bummer. It's on my birthday, whatever. And so then like, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this is fucked up. Like, this guy thinks he's going to a funeral tomorrow, which is actually his birthday party. Like, this is dark.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, another one of his friends is like, y'all gotta come over and eat some crabs because it's all about crabs in Maryland. Like, it's like here with barbecue, but like there it's crabs. And so anyway, I'm like, we're going, and I don't give it a lot of thought. We drive to Delaware, which I guess it really like living in Texas, that seems like a big thing. It's not right there. Like, just go over to Delaware. But we go to this like random ass park, and we're waiting, and he goes and he's like, I gotta get some drinks before we go to this fucking memorial service. It's my birthday. Like, so they finally pull up to this random park, and he's walking. He has like kid toys because I guess they're bringing kids were there for the birthday party, but he's like, there's gonna be kids for the memorial service. And he's all like solemn and sad. And this is a very large man. He's like 6'5", I mean, very big presence. And he's like all solemn. He's looking, he kind of looks up, and he sees like Steve and I, which we would not be at a memorial service. And he sees his mom, who would not be at that memorial service. And everyone's like, surprise. And this dude is like, what the fuck is happening? Like, happy birthday. And it took him probably like a solid 45 minutes to like shift his mindset. And that's when I knew I loved Steve, because I was like, your people are fucking weird, dude.
Crazy,
like, this is not a normal not a normal thing. But those are my Maryland stories. I don't know if they're similar to many of your Maryland stories.
No surprise memorial service, birthday parties, but a lot of eating crabs on my end. Yeah, my mom grew up outside of Baltimore. My dad in the Maryland area, so that was a big, go to a tennis tournament in Baltimore. I'd go out to crabs with my grandma and my mom.
Yeah.
Like, that was just part of our that was our barbecue, right?
Yeah.
And I think they do crawfish boils here. Like, that's a big thing. And
do you like crawfish?
I mean, they're tasty. It's like it's like crabs in the sense that it's a lot of work for a little bit of meat. So you have to sit there for a long time if you want to indulge in that process. But I guess the potatoes and the corn and other things fill you up. But I could sit and pick crabs for 8 hours straight.
Crabs. It's such a social, fun thing like that I've learned when we go back to Maryland to see his friends and stuff. It's like, oh, they got a bunch of crabs and you sit and pick crabs and chat and hang out, drink
You can
beers.
actually, Steve, you can go to Fiesta, the supermarket nearby. They sell live blue crab there. It comes from the Gulf. I've done crab boils, not boils. I steam crabs at my house with Old Bay and J&O seasoning, and so you can go pick them out. The weirdest thing though, because they're coming from the Gulf of Mexico, where it's not a huge like over crabbing problem there. Whereas at the Chesapeake Bay outside Maryland, like some years there's just not that many crabs, and they're like, limitations on pulling out crabs and only pulling the male crabs, like not the females, so they can repopulate the shit. Exactly. And so it's weird going to Fiesta and realizing half of these are like female crabs. Like it's weird to see the stomachs of the crabs and seeing that they're female, and it's
How
just
can you tell the difference?
Because the males have like, where you open the crab from the stomach, the males have like a very pointy one, and the females, it looks like that.
Okay.
So it's just like the opening to their shell, basically.
Interesting.
So, and then it's
G&M's overnights.
Okay.
G&M's.
Yeah, that like what's it called? There's another Blue Belly or Gold Belly, I think, that does like delivery of like when I need my bagel fix, I can get like New York bagels overnight, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
G&M's is awesome. They make it all the way to the crab mix. All you got to do is scoop it and put it on the pan.
Oh, amazing.
And it makes their crab cakes, and then they send their crab cake soup too.
Amazing.
Put in some milk and
Ooh, the cream of crab soup is so good.
Amazing.
G&M's is in Baltimore, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lithicum.
What is it?
Lithicum, Maryland.
Lithicum.
Yeah.
Just south of the south part of the Beltway, the Baltimore Beltway.
It's different. Like here, when you get crab cakes, like from restaurants and stuff, it's like shredded, like it's like little, but like it's.
Yeah, like when I see crab cakes on the, and especially when they say Maryland crab cake, I'm like, no,
it's not.
You can't call that here in
Yeah,
Texas.
because it's like that lumpy, like
Yeah.
crab cakes from Maryland, and I've been spoiled now. Like the crab cakes from G&M's, and it's about time we should order some. But like,
let me know.
like
I'll go in on an order.
big old hunks of crab meat, and it's like, Steve, what do you call them? Gunkers? Like you make gunkers on. Is that? Well, who doesn't love a little cocaine gunker every once in a while? But no, it's so good. But the cream of crab soup is excellent. We should go in on some crabs, or we should go all buy some blue crab from Fiesta.
Yeah, let's have an Easton Park crab night. That'd be good. Well, taste of Maryland, and we'll make some crab cakes.
The taste of Maryland.
I like that.
Yes. Or just to pick crabs. Like, it is so fun to pick crabs. Okay, we've talked about everything from entrepreneurship, which was excellent. That was really fun to hear about your businesses, and then the hand sanitizer situation, your manufacturing world. You've got so many skills under your belt. We talked about poker, Easton Park, crabs.
A little bit of everything.
Listeners, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.